All right, this is a live video for those people that are found this due to looking for solutions to their Volvo S60r. Welcome. Um, this is probably a many month battle that I've had trying to figure out what was going on. So I want to kind of give a quick summary as to what's going on and what I've learned. And I'm doing this live. There's other people that are coming to the channel. I do a lot of DIY stuff, so if you found this, welcome. I'm going to try to give some part numbers and whatnot, and kind of go over what exactly has happened. Let me really quick bring up a photo of the sending unit, of the part number on the sending unit, and I'm not sure. So this is a 2004 Volvo S60R. I am not sure if that's 38327 or 36327, but that's what was on the sending unit. And just by looking, I'd have to guess 36327. Anyway, the sending unit. So back to the beginning. What were the symptoms? What's going on? Swedish mechanics. So what were the symptoms? What's going on? So it all started nearly a year ago, and my 2004 Volvo S60R, I have 194,000 miles on it roughly. It just literally died in the middle of the highway. I was going along, and it was as if somebody turned the key off. And just the motor died, and the rest of the electronics stayed on, but all of a sudden, boom, nothing. The throttle did nothing. It eventually restarted, and it went a little ways and then died. So I eventually got it to restart. We put some more gas in it. Checked the oil, all that stuff. Eventually got it to go again. Got it home. I got it to my folks. Drove it there without incident. And then eventually I was like, well, let's try to see if I get it home. So I drove it 60 miles home, and it was fine. So, I went online to figure out what might be going on. Well, it might be a fuel pressure sensor. So I changed out the fuel pressure sensor, just thinking, hey, whatever. And so I luckily did this on a day when I wasn't doing anything. And I went to the post office, only 4 miles away. And I got to the post office fine. When I came out, the car would not start. It would crank, but no start. So I got towed home, AAA. I then replaced the crank position sensor because I figured that might be it. I'm trying to avoid doing the fuel pump. So I tried the crank position sensor, and I figured, hey, that's good. And after that, the car ran. So this is months later because I really wasn't trusting the car. I got the car started. It ran, but it would run, and then it would start, and then die, and then start and go. Good power, no problem with power or throttle response. Drive it again. Okay. Drove it around a little bit. Drove it a few miles down the road to my power equipment place where I do at least some of the chainsaw stuff, and would crank. Wanted to go. I'd hear it rev, and then it would die. It would crank and rev and then die. Okay, so it had been recommended to me to get the Volvo diagnostic tool. Got the Volvo diagnostic tool. Needed a Windows 7, not a Windows 10 machine. Bought a laptop specifically for it. How annoying. Okay. I spent hours trying to get that thing running. Could not get it running because I could not do actual diagnostics. So the Volvo has sat for a while, and eventually I was thinking, well, it might be there's an electronics module on top of the gas tank, and it might be called the PEM. It might be that. So I ordered one of those, And then I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to go pull the fuel pump out and see what I can see. Maybe the sending unit's bad, whatever. So I pulled the sending unit out, tested the sending unit out. There's another video of me doing that somewhere. The sending unit actually registered resistance, variable resistance, so that was fine. And incidentally, this end connects to the sending unit. And just so everybody can see, on the S60r, there are two electronic connectors that click into the sending unit. This piece here clicks into the sending unit, and whoa, I'll lose everything here. I know I got a bench full of junk. Sorry, guys. Very important. In order to get this off, there is right here. Just press this down, and that moves this that way, and this drops off of the sending unit and into the gas tank. So this is constantly in the tank, just so you know. Okay. So anyway, got the sending unit measured. I'm like, well, it's probably not the sending unit. That seems okay. All right. Then what are the odds? I'll order a fuel pump. Went on Rock Auto, ordered the fuel pump. Spectra Premium, it was like $350. Fuel pump shows up. I'm like, hey, sweet. So I go out to the car, get everything out, get this out of the car. This is the original pump. Okay, we're good to go. And go to put the other one in, and I noticed Spectra Premium and the part number on the Spectra Premium was correct for Volvo, and it said it replaced, let me see if I can bring this up. $307-61744 is the part number that it should technically replace. So the part number that I got on the one that was inside the Spectra Premium box had the last digits of 42, not 44. I said, wait a minute, something's up there. Called Spectra Premium themselves, and basically they said, yeah, you actually have the wrong pump in the correct box. So it was the right box, the right part numbers on the box, the wrong pump in the box. It only had one motor. This one has two. And it only had one connector at the other end of this thing. So obviously that was bad. So I had to return that to Rock Auto. Hopefully I'm getting my money back tomorrow. Anyway, so then I ordered, there's actually a Bosch replacement pump that is specific to the, well, interesting. That is significant to the V70R, supposedly, but I don't think that there's a difference. So, okay, let me see if I can bring up that part number, and you'll forgive me here. But I tried to order that part, and the guy on eBay, I was so frustrated. It's identical. There it is. Bosch 69957 fuel pump module assembly. It's identical to the one, and technically this fits the V70R, but it doesn't say that it fits the S60R. I don't know why. There's no difference between the two models as far as this stuff goes, so I don't see why this wouldn't fit. If anybody can get this to fit, 69957, or at least get one of these fuel pumps and make sure it is identical, that would be great. I mean, if you can get it to fit in your S60R, let me know. The thing about these pumps, $191 is a whole lot better than the $370 I ended up paying for this, but $191, but these are on back order, supposedly. So, I don't know why. It says select vehicle, and it actually will say it doesn't fit, but it does fit a 2004 V70R, and I'm pretty sure the original part number, the 307, whatever the heck it was, hang on a second, 307-61744 is the same between the two models. So what's the difference? I don't know. Anywho, I ordered this part from FCP Euro, who is literally, in the state, not too far away from me. I ordered the new part from FCP Euro. It was the correct part number, 307-617-44. I think that's the part number. And give me half a second to check. Let me see if I can bring that up. Three zero seven 617-44. Yes, that's correct. So anyway, the Spectra Premium part number is SP5047M. And apparently they had Spectra Premium put the wrong one in the box. And you can see prices are all over the place. $500, $400. So prices are all over the place. FCP Euro, this was $370, free shipping, I think somewhere around there. And to get the new pump, actual Volvo replacement part. And so the actual installation of the pump is not too bad. I will say some tips and tricks really quick for people that need to know. One of the things that I broke, there's other videos of guys taking the rear seat out and how to do all that stuff, so I won't really bore you with that. But I was able to get the rear seat up, no problem. Then you have to pull the bolsters out, which are on the side of the seat backs. The thing about the bolsters is, up towards the top, there's actually 3 connectors. On the top connector, you actually have to press in with your finger, and let me see if I'm doing this. Press in, you find the bolster with your finger. And just so everybody else that's live here knows, I'm not checking messages yet. I will get to you guys because we're doing this live. Press in with your finger, and that'll release it basically this way. And then there's 2 other connectors. The bottom connector lifts vertically out. That's not the problem. It's the middle one. You have to look in and make sure it gently releases. So the bolsters are possible to do them without breaking them. And there's another video that I did fairly recently. I did it live, and I was actually able to release the bolster without breaking it. So it is possible to do that. Okay. Next tip had to do with when you're actually removing the fuel pump and the sending unit. When you pull the fuel pump out, what you really want to do is, as you're pulling this out and through, you want to attach a piece of line to this. You got to attach a rope or baling wire or something to this, because when you pull it through, you want it to be able to pull it back, to pull the new one back. So I just used some nylon rope and it worked fine. Even thin nylon rope seemed to work okay, because you have to guide this end back through when you put the new one in. This whole unit, when you're reinstalling it, it is very tight. The ball needs to go down first, and then eventually you can wiggle in these pieces. You're going to want to get them in effectively kind of that way. It was very tight and took a bit to do. Positioning. Okay, so you have to have positioning correct in order to make sure your levels are correct in the gas tank. These 2, you got to pay, you just take a photograph before you deinstall it. But this gas line needs to be facing the passenger side, the outer portion of the car, the passenger side door. This faces forward on the car, faces the engine. So directly forward and directly sideways to the passenger side. On the sending unit, the wires are all like ducks in a row. They should be on the driver's side, and the whole thing should be effectively, all the wires should be parallel with the long axis of the car when everything's tightened down. What else can I tell you for tips and tricks on this installation? It really wasn't that bad. Oh, okay. So there is a connector between the two seats. There's a connector that goes into the trunk effectively with a couple of bolts. You do not need to remove that. The way to remove the rear seat once you have the bolsters out is very simple. I would definitely recommend removing the driver's side portion first. Undo, I think it's a 14 or 15 millimeter bolt. Undo the bolt that is on the driver's side. Undo the electrical clip, and then what you do is take and move the driver's side portion of the seat and just lift it out. The passenger side, then you remove the bolt and it becomes obvious what to do. Other tips and tricks on this installation. Really wasn't too bad. Overall, I have not put the PEM unit in yet, but the car does. It ran fine tonight. I stopped, got gas. Would highly recommend, if you're doing a fuel pump, you have some way to siphon the gas out. For the love of God, you gotta have a tank that's down. It's a whole lot easier to do, other than splashing all over the place. Ideally be able to siphon the gasoline out of the tank, or have a really low tank when you do the job. The other thing is, there's a plastic spline that goes, this is real important, there's a plastic spline that goes and holds this whole unit down. There is a metal adapter that is available on eBay for like $50. I am telling you, you cannot do this job without that thing. If you're trying to finagle something, no way. I just, after having that tool and thinking about how I would do it, otherwise you would have busted it, you grounded out something, and they look like they're just a pain. Get the tool. It's worth it for this installation. I will say special thanks to, I think it's Robert DIY. If you look up like 5 reasons fuel pump, I think Robert DIY's video comes up. It's like the top 5 reasons that, to replace a fuel pump. When I finally saw that video, I'm like, okay, I just got to do it. The random stalling issues, the car just randomly shutting off. It's hard to start, odd starts. If the car has like close to 200,000 miles on it, odds are these pumps are going. So I will credit that guy for inspiration to get me to do this. I will keep everybody posted as to exactly whether this fixed my overall issue or not. And that's probably about it. For those people, like, there are other videos on how to do the fuel pump on a Volvo S60. So, me actually doing the bolt for bolt stuff, there's no point. There's other guys that have done it. But there are certainly these tips and tricks that help because they're things that I just didn't quite pick up from those other videos. Okay. For my live guys, is it okay if I restart the stream? Is that all right? Peter Call. I'm going to restart the stream, guys, and then because I want to leave this video as it sits for people that are interested in the Volvo stuff, and then we'll get to chainsaw stuff next. So everybody, for those people on Swede Speed, thank you to you guys for helping out best you can. I know that everybody wanted me to get the Volvo diagnostics up and running, but I spent so much time on that and it just didn't go anywhere. It just, one day I'll probably get it, but it wasn't today. I'm literally playing parts darts here. This was, instead of spending $1,000 at the dealer or whatever or more to get this situation resolved, this cost me $370. Little bit of aggravation, but there's some learning involved, so that's, to be expected. I hope this helps somebody, and if it does, leave a comment below. Thanks everybody, especially on Sweet Speed and to Robert DIY. I will try to leave stuff down in the description if I can possibly do that for part numbers or whatnot. Thanks again. I'm going to restart the live stream for all my other guys. Okay, take care.